let's now have a look at the image window in a bit more detail. The first thing to notice is that when the cursor is moved into the image, the cursor changes, in this case to a magnifying glass, and this indicates that the cursor is operating in a zoom mode. To use the zoom, you press the left hand mouse button to zoom in, and we can continue doing this until we get to the maximum zoom ratio. At this point, the intensity value at each pixel is superimposed over the pixel of the image. The right hand mouse button allows you to zoom back out again. We can change to a crosshair cursor by going to the view menu and deselecting zoom. This places a crosshair cursor over the image, and this can be useful for inspecting the positional and intensity values which are located at the bottom left hand corner of the window. So as I move the cursor around, in the bottom left hand corner of the image window you'll see the XY coordinate and the intensity value at the centre of the crosshair cursor. Across the bottom of the image we see the XY position of the cursor and the intensity value, and then there are four icons: an image icon, a graph icon, a palette icon and a graphic window. If we select the graph icon, and we can now resize the image by dragging the bottom right hand corner of the image. As we move the cursor over the image, we get an XY intensity profile plot. This is centered around the cursor position. This can be turned off by pressing the image window. The next button is the palette button, and this superimposes a color palette bar to the right hand side of the image window. The final icon is the graphics window. We'll discuss this in more detail when we get to the measurement functions. The final element of the image window is the display translation control. This is located in the bottom right hand corner of the image. At the moment you'll see that this is effectively greyed out. This is because the image is an 8-bit image. However, if the image contains 16 or 32-bit data, you would see additional information present. To demonstrate the display translation functions, I'm going to copy this image to 16-bit format. To do this, we go to Operations, select Copy, and then to 16. If you notice in the bottom left hand corner, it's prompting us what to do, and it says select image to copy. So I'm going to select image buffer A. The message in the bottom left hand corner now says select destination image, and I'll select image button B. So we've now got two windows. The data in image buffer A, which is 8-bit data, and we can notice this by the fact that there's no information in the display translation section of the image window. The image in image buffer B has been converted to a 16-bit image, and we can immediately see this by the fact that the display translation section of the window is now active. At the moment it is displaying bits 0 to 7 of the 16-bit data. We can press the up arrow, which is now going to change from 0 to 7 to 1 to 8. And what this has effectively done is to divide the image by 2 and then to redisplay it. And this allows us to look at higher intensity bits of the 16 or 32-bit image. We can continue to scroll up or down using the up and down buttons. It should be noted that this only affects the display of the data. It in no way affects the data itself.